going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Now that Hotel Transylvania, Transformania is out and I've reviewed all 4 movies, it's time to rank all 4 Hotel Transylvania movies from worst to best. So let me know in the comments before we begin what your ranking of the Hotel Transylvania's movies are. As always, this is just my list and not a definitive ranking. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these videos, as it helps me out immensely by getting my content out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time, and let's get to the list. In last place is Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. And for the record, I really don't dislike this movie, or any of these movies, but I only think this one's just okay. Now, this sees a much needed change in pace for Dracula and his friends and family, though it doesn't quite take advantage of the opportunity as much as it should have. While it contains quite a few instances of the fun, fast-paced humor and visual gags the series has become known for, it also spends way too much time on this generic subplot of Dracula having a romantic interest who has sinister intentions. And as a result, it causes a lot of the great supporting characters to be sidelined for much of the film. So rather than having a variety of jokes and situations because of all the different supporting characters playing off of one another, you have this repetitive storyline focused on the same 4 or 5 characters that runs out of steam pretty quickly. The charm is still there, and it can still be funny, but it's just not as consistent as some of the other movies. At number 3 is Hotel Transylvania, Transformania. The final entry in this series ends things on an okay enough note. This once again gets the characters out of their comfort zone like the third movie, though this time around it makes sure it utilizes its supporting characters more. It does essentially rehash a conflict from the first movie where Drac is a bit overprotective due to Johnny's behavior, which felt a little stale and finds us hitting some really predictable beats and makes everyone feel like they take a step backwards. But for what it's worth, it still leads to a lot of good, fun, fast-paced gags and the humorous banter among all our side characters, which is a big part of this series' charm. While the absence of Jendy Tartakovsky and Adam Sandler can be felt, one of the new co-directors is Derek Dreiman, who was the creative director during the early days of SpongeBob, making him a perfect fit to helm this. And Brian Hull does a great job of keeping Dracula consistent with the first 3 movies while still making the character his own and not just being a copy and paste of Sandler, while all the returning players are once again as charming as ever. So all in all, this one makes for a nice, happy medium. At number 2 is Hotel Transylvania 2, which offers essentially more of the same as its predecessor, and that winds up being mostly a good thing. While like all these movies, it doesn't win any points in terms of originality, especially since the third act is essentially a condensed rehash of the first movie's conflict, just with different characters, it still works for what it is. These movies are essentially an excuse for Sandler and his friends to do silly voices and a bunch of goofy riffing, and in this movie in particular, that shtick works to its advantage, thanks to some creative setups and fast-paced animation, the charms of all the returning players, along with some fun additions like Dana Carvey and Mel Brooks. Considering this and the first movie feel like the 2 most consistent with one another, personally I'd say your enjoyment of this is mainly going to boil down to how you thought of the first movie. If you weren't a fan of that movie, then this probably won't win you over. But if you did like the first movie, then you won't have a problem with this either. But in first place is Hotel Transylvania, which follows a pretty generic storyline about an overprotective father driving a wedge between his daughter and her romantic interest, but it has a lot of charm and laughs that more than make up for it. While I was initially skeptical going into this, having never seen any of these movies until recently, it turned out to be a pleasant surprise. It lived up to my expectations in the sense that it does feel like Adam Sandler and his friends just riffing for an hour and a half, just in animated form with monster puns, but having Jendy Tartakovsky at the helm to hone a lot of that in made for a nice balance. So the film has a fast-paced kinetic energy with over-the-top animation that especially complements Sandler's goofy voices and the way Dracula contorts in frustration. It's a spin on stuff we've seen plenty of times before, but the charm lies in its style, as well as the fun banter among all these characters, especially ones voiced by Steve Buscemi, David Spade, Kevin James, and so many others. It's nothing that reinvents the wheel, but it's well-intentioned, it's funny, it's something I think all audiences will enjoy, and it comes in as my number 1 of the Hotel Transylvania movies. And that's my ranking of all the Hotel Transylvania movies. All first-time watches for me, and this was a fun little series to check out. They're all nothing groundbreaking, but they're nice, harmless fun, and sometimes that's all you need. I've now done quite a few of these franchise rankings, from SpongeBob to the Addams Family to Looney Tunes, and a lot more. If you missed some of them, I'll leave a link to the playlist in the description so you can check out the ones you missed, and stay tuned for more of these review series and rankings coming soon. But in the meantime, let me know, what's your ranking of the Hotel Transylvania movies? Did you agree with this list at all? Did you disagree disagree with it, let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.